This tutorial will show you how to set up your company for use with Earwix. First, what you'll want to do is sign in as the Earwix System Administrator, or EUSA. This will give you administrative controls. Two menus. Under Help, you have the Activation Wizard. This is a multiple step process of setting up your company, starting with checking for updates. Step 2 is activating your product. Step 3 is changing the EUSA password. And each step will have different information regarding each step and what the reasoning is behind it. Purging your demo data or any other data that's in the system. You want to set users and permissions. This is pretty straightforward. You simply click New User, type in their first name, last name, and their email address. You can paste their signature from an image file, and later they can log in and change their login options, interface options, and task labels. Once I've done that, I can now click on Bill and change his user permissions. I can either go by category and identify which ones I want him to have, or I can give all permissions and then double click on to take them away again. And double click on the left panel to put them back in. So I have a lot of flexibility in setting up permissions for my users. I can also identify Bill as a clinician, and if I do, I then need to choose whether they're an audiologist or a practitioner. Next, in step 6, we do company settings. This is where we set up all the small detail about the company. Company settings, the folders, return times for different types of services, whether they be repairs or new orders for hearing aids or ear molds, patient file defaults, financial defaults, invoicing defaults, return for credits, licensing, system administrator defaults, the footer on your invoices and your recommendations, and your logo. Under settings, you also have letterhead settings. So if I click preview, I can see the changes as I make them. So if I have a very small logo at the top and maybe a big logo on the left margin and some graphics on the bottom, my letterhead might look something like that. So now my graphics are left and bottom, and I can continue to change those defaults and print samples until I'm happy with the margins. I can also set up my offices and their location. Next, you can change your next invoice number, create a backup schedule, and you're done. At this stage, you would continue as an administrator, but as an actual user. So let's choose an administrative user, log in, and go to the data lists menu. At the very bottom of it, you'll have data lists setup wizard, and the wizard continues. So at this point, you set up your suppliers. You would enter all of your suppliers, and for example, under Widex, I can put general information, my accounting details. Adding an account is simple. I add an account. Sorry, the number goes here, description goes here, and it's due in 30 days. And then I can add a third-party one. And associate a third party. Now all the third-party rules that would apply are now associated with this account for this manufacturer. I can make both of them active, and I can choose one of them as a default. I can set up my discounts over here, supplier specific pricing, and supplier contacts. So I would do that for each one of my suppliers. On the next step, I look at makes. I can usually skip makes and models and jump right to products and services, because the makes and models will be updated through our ongoing data update tool that's online. Let me just just drag this down a little bit. So here you can now view your markup settings. You can change your markup formula. You can have very specific, for example, you can have premium products, different markup for each make, or different product by clinician, or different product by style, and so forth. You can go quite detailed on your markups, or you could just simply have no split and end up just doing a fixed price, or a markup that's a fixed amount, a percentage of cost, or both. And you can add shipping before or after and so forth. And then you can see examples of how your pricing would look. You can also look at your ear mold pricing, manufacturer repair pricing, in-house service pricing, your accessories and products, your consults, your tests, discounts, others, and supplies. The next step is to look at your third-party rules, make sure you're satisfied with their setup, and then import physicians list from a spreadsheet that you can obtain from your College of Surgeons and Physicians in your area. They usually do take payment for a spreadsheet that they can send out to you. Alternatively, of course, you can just manually enter the key physicians that you work with here, and then they can be used not only in mailers to physicians as a marketing tool, but also to write letters to them and to send reports and test results. And finally, we're done. And that is how you set up your company. A couple of other things of note: you might want to set up some daily tasks for people. And under appointments, appointment types, you want to set up your appointment types. So your 15-minute appointment, your clean and check appointment, how long is it, what the colors are you going to use with it, your edit appointment colors is at the bottom here. And for example, for hearing aid evaluation, let's take that one, you can use checklists. So here's a checklist for default for everybody. They are going to write a new progress note, a new audio, write a report, and so forth. I can expand that and add other things, send a letter with patients, with AR material, for example, what is adaptation, why